things like Wukong here, especially with Poppy and Trundle off the board. The Sylas, we said, has been the pick for Knight. Not even this split. This is Knight's champion. This is his favorite pick, and we're going to get to see if he can perform on us.
Gotta start off with confidence, and that's exactly what Top Esports going to do right here. Speaking of confidence, though, relying on some burst potential in the bottom lane, they got the Lucian, but as well as the coveted Wukong.
So this is a bit of a different take here for V5. When you've got the Lucian Nami coming in, you need to be able to play around this bottom side of the map very heavily. But you haven't gotten rid of all the things that do well into it, right? Kallista's taken away, but the Draven is still there, and JackeyLove is the premier Draven player. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like something like a Draven and a Leona come into that bot side, but not going to be the case. It is going to be the kog'maw, which means we're probably going to get the Lulu. And it isn't the first time that we've seen this from JackeyLove this split, but it's definitely going to be something where we're going to have to see if he can have that same impact that he had, where he had 11 KDA the last time that he got that win.
I will say they're putting a lot of eggs in the bottom lane basket, which I think is perfectly fine at this point. But I guess at this junction, it's about V5's answer in terms of how they execute that bottom lane. You're looking at this Lucian Nami, and you want to try to get something going for Photic ppgod, right? No slouches to some big carry moments for V5 across the last couple splits, even if there has been some disappointing moments for the bottom lane in Pacific.
Well, we'll have to see if they can try and pick that one up. Jungle Ban's going to be coming through for V5 as they start to roll through. Tian not having his pick yet. You know, he favors things like the Viego and also things that have been like the Poppy and the Trundle, but with those taken off the board. Lee Sin, maybe the way that Tian wants to go in this. Again, try and play through that strong mid jungle. Give resources and help down to JackeyLove and Mark once you get that mid jungle up and rolling, because at the moment V5 they're setting up for a very strong team fight with the Ornn locked in, but all of it centers around shutting down this kog'maw in the early stages, playing around this bottom side, and even having the counter pick for Rookie here leaves him up to pick up whatever he wants as an answer to this Sylas.
I'm very excited to see what he has up his sleeve here, especially against Knight, right? This tried and true matchup that we all know and love at this point in the LPL. But the thing I love is the decisiveness from both of these sides, really. They know what they're coming in with the game plan. It's the Sejuani and Viego insta-locked in for top.
So it's definitely comfort here for the mid-jungle at Top Esports. Like, Tian was synonymous with Viego back when we looked at Spring. This was his champion, his most played by a country mile. So we're going to have to see now if he can try and help outside in making sure he's going to have a good time against rookies Orianna. Dude, they are pulling out all the stops for this game one. I am so hyped.
They have to. Like, absolutely. V5 on a slump, as you had mentioned before. This is a moment to step up. This is a moment to deny, even if it might come eventually, a first place lock-in tonight from Top Esports. I think especially with the track record that we've had from V5, the historical slumps that we've seen from them, even last split, it would be such a big mark on the end of the season for these guys. And not only, like, I'm talking about these guys, like, these guys are legendary. We have multiple Worlds attendees, international appearances, so much pressure that these guys have dealt with in the past, and we're in the regular season, the end of the regular season for summer 2022, and I couldn't think of a better moment to put these guys on the same rift and have them hash out all of these wonderful matchups.
But that's the thing, right? It's not that we're getting the facilitator mid lanes that we looked at, Talia's, Aries, these kind of things. It's Rookie on a lane bully, Knight on his signature pick. We are going to get these two properly going head to head in game number one, and we're just about ready to get into it, Mazel.
You didn't fill up on the appetizers, did you, with LGDRA? Because we're right about to get into the main course. You got your dinner forks, you got your knives. It is match of the week. Top Esports, again, one series win away from winning the regular split of LPL Summer 2022, and V5 with the likes, with the names, the amount that has been invested into this V5 team, even the come about, the turnaround for this organization over the last year. This is a huge mantelpiece for both these two teams. And as we get onto the rift, the competition is ever more alive. Top Esports versus V5.
And we are going to have to see what versions we get of both of these squads. Top Esports are going to fire on all cylinders, guarantee themselves that top spot. Knight already being found out by a Rookie, whereas V5, as we talked about, a slump already being hit for V5, but it feels like this composition is set up for the classics. Play for team fights, play to let Photic step up, and Rookie on something where you can bully lane, but still have a massive impact in fights. The best Orianna in the LPL, conversations across the world as to whether he is the best Orianna in the world. This is the moment where V5 will need to prove that they can still contend with the top spots in the LPL.
And we're talking about the first place lock-in, right, for top esports, but for me, it just feels like nothing else matters besides this series at this point. Like all the trials and tribulations that both teams have been through, the success for top esports and some of that slumping for V5, like all of it is just out on the outside of the perspective right now. I am focusing so holistically on this matchup because for all these players, it means that much. And speaking of little advantages going through here early on, Photic with the first strike got that early goal. Just saying, Dagda, I don't know easy GG, but at bot lane at least getting some of that aggression.
Yeah, and I do like this because I think for the bot side here, usually you'd see the press the attack. You still get a lot of upfront damage as Photic, but honestly, I think with the Lulu there, the trading patterns become incredibly difficult for you to all in as Photic because you just get whimsied. You can't go for the full trade pattern. So instead, he's just going to opt into going for as much gold, getting as much value from that as possible, and then getting those item advantages so he can play for team fights, play for early skirmishes. So nice adaptation from Photic coming into this, and I think that's kind of going to be the story of V5 as you move through this, because you've got late game scaling from top side and also from Rookie. But the problem is you're giving a huge amount of valuable ultimates over tonight with that top side in Rich, in Xiaolongbao, and they want to try and help out on Rich right now.
This Wayward getting a little bit low against Rich. Who's going to go down first blood? Oh, Tian goes over, and that will be easily given to top esports, and you'll take that lead all day long.
Just a really great pathing from Tian. Immediately red into Raptors, gets the Grump on top side and gets that first blood, punishing Rich. You traditionally on the Ornn, you have a good matchup here, but Wayward, knowing his limits, just about able to eke out that first blood. Xiaolongbao tries to respond on bot side, but JackeyLove and Mark playing way too far back for the Wukong to get anything.
I love that we're seeing Tian take those little advantages, right? The pathing mastermind that we actually get to see here. So
nice.
We'll look at that mid lane a little bit more. Rookie, you were talking about him bullying. Well, he's doing just that. He might get bullied himself, though. Tian looking for a second gank of the game, and Rookie doesn't have mana here. He does have flash, and it's just going to be a nice pressure relief for Knight.
Yeah, just about able to get that mana back for the shield, so he will be fine. Tian coming in to give a helping hand here tonight. And that's oftentimes what we see from Tian when Knight is on this Sylas is, look, he will just show his face, tell you to back off, and then go back into his hidey hole, right? And all it needs to do is get time for Knight to reset. But ppgod, off on his own, will be able to back away from this one. Double TP back to the mid lane, so he will get the reset. Knight starting to hit level 5. This match will become a little bit easier as he gets the 3 points in his chain lash.
So we're obviously seeing Xiaolongbao come down towards this bottom lane, potentially trying to get V5 to bait in top esports down here. But speaking of Xiaolongbao, I want to zoom in. You're Xiaolongbao here. You're coming in. You're replacing Karsa for a majority of the end of the season. You're going against Tian, man. You're going like the matchups again. We were talking about it earlier, but this is such a difficult situation. And XLB has shown a lot of prowess in the season, but this is, I feel like, another level.
Especially when you know that a lot of the presence is going to be on this bottom side from both junglers. Xiaolongbao needs to find interesting ways to actually catch Tian out. Like, look to desync on these waves. Because, as you can see at the moment, Xiaolongbao has been putting so much resource into that bot side. He's only just finished off his last camp, just put in his first reset, same as Tian, but Tian had a little bit of a faster clear. So, definitely want to see what Xiaolongbao can do. And it looks like now he's actually just caught that desync we're talking about.
Yeah.
Does his Wolves now moving bot off of an unusual timer, but there is a good ward there that was placed by Tian, that was spotted by V5, so Xiaolongbao won't be able to get into the bot side.
The difference, I guess the world champ difference at this point. Knight's going into the aggression onto Rookie, but again, it seems like that skirmishing, at least in the mid lane, has definitely been in Rookie's favor. I think Xiaolongbao, even with the early attempts from Tian, he'll be appreciative that Rookie has been able to keep a bit of pressure and stability in the mid lane, because I feel like without that, you would have a lot less going for you in this counter of a snowball for V5.
The real loser, though, with all these plays is actually Photic and ppgod. you know, JackeyLove and Mark outrange Photic and ppgod. Photic can't actually try and go in aggressive in this matchup because 1 Mark, 2 Tien's been there. You can already see a sizable CS lead opening up for JackeyLove, and he's getting to crash his wave under turret, so Tien gonna make a play in mid.
Trying to find it yet again. The flash from Rookie will finally be burned. So that's a return gank in the making here for Top Esports.
But Tian doesn't even cost anything to do this, right? This is just a nice transitional gank because he wants to move towards the top side anyway. Get that Scuttle Crab. So again, it's just Tian ever present on the map, but always doing it in creative ways so then he can make sure, okay, I'm keeping up my jungle efficiency, but not wasting time like we saw with Xiaolongbao there, kind of hovering around bot side, not quite able to get too much. And even as we talked about, you know, Xiaolongbao trying to separate himself from Tian, they're both pathing up towards this top side, and they're going to start moving down to the bot side at the same time as well.
Yeah, and I'm still looking for some of that proactivity from Xiaolongbao as well. But I don't think at this point you're going to necessarily feel that confident when you've seen Tian be pretty much everywhere around the map. But then you start looking at objectives, right? You start looking at some like secure differences that you can get in the next little bit. And we have, you know, a Rift Herald in a minute. We've had the Dragon spawned on the Rift, but both teams kind of reluctant to try to put vision down, but more so go for those objectives just yet.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem for Top Esports is the fact you've got Knight on Sylas. You don't get a huge amount of control over mid, but this kog'maw Lulu can definitely get themselves control over bot side. And off this big wave that's about to push, both in mid and bot, I feel like Tian is going to move over towards that dragon. Will hit 6 off his red buff as well, which is a big advantage for the Viego as well here. You just see him hit 6 there, and they immediately go over towards dragon. So again, this is kind of why Top Esports have been so good around dragons, is their ability to set everything up in order with mid lane, with bot side, and then play towards him. But Tian will find Xiaolongbao, who's still level 5.
A little bit of a level difference in that aspect of it. Also, Knight already going back to the mid lane. Rookie will be missing now. Tian realizes he might need to back away from this one. The pressure in bottom lane really lets him have a lot of the decision-making power in a situation like this. And this crashing wave for Mark JackeyLove is doing just that. Still no big vision around this dragon pit, but at least Xiaolongbao getting some of his jungle camps at least this time around on the bottom side. But Tian just ever hovering this mid lane, knowing how important this Knight versus Rookie matchup is.
It looks like, though, with Tian knowing that Xiaolongbao's on the bot side, he's going to start up Rift. Knight again getting control over the mid lane. This is where, like, as you said, once you start to crest level 5, you're a bit easier in that mid lane. But the attention's on bot side now. Xiaolongbao trying to get onto JackeyLove.
Got the flank. This could be a nice setup. The culling comes through. Nice damage reduction there from V5 in terms of trying to get the damage down. Now the bubble, double, trouble. Top Esports, the bottom lane, the tidal wave. It's huge, and V5 come up clutch.
That was so well played by Xiaolongbao. Look at all the vision that has already been established on this bot side by Top Esports. There's one in the brush that Xiaolongbao's in. There's one in the pixel brush as well. But Xiaolongbao uses the decoy to get over the wall of Dragon Pit, avoids all the wards that Top Esports have, which is why JackeyLove and Mark thought they were safe and manages to get that kill. And this is exactly what Photic and ppgod needed to try and even up this bot side matchup.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a big difference down there. And again, just the highlighting of Xiaolongbao. He punches back at Tian's early aggression.
Again, just really good pathing here, avoiding everything, gets in beautifully, doesn't ever use the E, just walks at them so that then he always has that follow-up when they flash. Phenomenal bubble from ppgod. As you say, double trouble and double kills going over to V5.
Setup for the Lucian Nami lane. It's such an unlocking factor for V5, but TES, Top Esports, Tian, they are not stopping, at least in the aggression, right? You see some chickens stolen, the back off the Rift Herald there with the quickness in terms of getting back and getting the reset, and now it's next steps for Top Esports. It's where do you drop this Rift Herald to try to get some more resources? Do you see it on JackeyLove, or do you see it on Knight in the mid lane?
It's a bit of a tough call because I think the best thing you want to do, excuse me, as Top Esports is use this to get Dragon. Like, start this snowball rolling. And I think probably putting this into JackeyLove is your best bet just with the resources that have already been taken. But you have to be so careful because, like, look at mid lane right now. Knight doesn't have control over that mid lane right now, especially with Xiaolongbao kind of sitting in behind them. So Tian needs to help Knight to help bot, and that's where Xiaolongbao, with Rookie and Xiaolongbao hitting level 6, could turn things around.
Level 6 mark definitely makes things change. The Shockwave actually stolen from Knight here in the mid lane. We're getting a bit of aggression between the clone and Tian. He'll find the real Xiaolong Bao there afterwards, and the aggression of the 2v2 continues. But speaking of aggression, JackeyLove about half his health bar from the culling of Photic. And you're actually seeing top esports having to run away from that 2v2 in the mid lane.
Because of pressure on bot side, right? The Photic and ppgod can roam up, so they get to back away. And just a really nice job here from Xiaolong Bao and kind of catching where Tian is trying to make his moves. And now, with that play, you actually have V5 who can move over towards the dragon. So great job from Xiaolong Bao there to keep Tian in check and use the fact that Photic and ppgod have advantage bot side.
And I love that we set it up in the beginning, right? It's a bit of locomotive gaming here. And particularly in terms of objectives, at least in this first game, where it's a slow start, but a very, very tried and true push forward after that slow start. We do get the first dragon in about 11 minutes for V5, so we'll start that stacking, but again, it's more so relying on the movements around the map here. And we're actually seeing JackeyLove get positioned up towards the top side with the lane swap.
And I think this game is going to have significant ebbs and flows over where both these teams want to try and put their aggression. But I'm going to hold on to this as Tian is kind of hovering on bot side, doesn't realize he's on a ward. So V5 going to try and respond with a play in mid.
Knight just utilized the shockwave on the minion wave there. Does have the flash to get himself out, but the tidal wave locking him up. The bubble as well. Xiaolong Bao gets the kill, and man, ppgod is just everywhere.
Not the cleanest there, with Rookie slightly missing the shockwave, the Cyclone going a bit wide, but they still get the kill, and we'll still be up here if top esports decide to stay that bit too long.
You got the Ornn from Rich. It does get the knock up here on the JackeyLove. They have the tower down already. JackeyLove is the focus here. He's getting about half health as V5 has to back away. ppgod is the one playing aggressive, as he should be, man. His bubbles, his tidal waves, they've been on point.
Yeah, 4 versus 3 though, they will decide to back away. Not convinced that they're able to pick that one out with all those resources used in that mid lane play. Tian now, feeling a bit more confident, tries to go for the invade.
I like this, though. Trying to keep the tempo up against V5 and keep some of the advantages that we're seeing in terms of the pressure around the map from Tian. They aren't able to really get much on the end of that one, and they'll just look back at the pressure in mid lane and reassign JackeyLove to try to pick up this at least wave. I wonder if we do see that transition back down towards bottom lane, though, as Wayward and Photic just kind of going at it in the side. But right now, it looks like top esports fine with the lane assignments they have.
Yeah, they just want to get back and get that Blade of the Rune King for JackeyLove. Like, he's sitting on a lot of gold from that top tower that they gave him all the resources from. And also just the fact that you're very low on mana pretty much across the board. So they will get these resets in. Rookie would do the same. Can move up to match Knight's push on the top side. And this is traditionally where we start to see top esports moving with Knight continuously playing in side lanes, especially against an Orianna who isn't the most comfortable in side lanes because of how vulnerable she is to ganks from Tian, from Wayward as well if he comes through. And then you look at JackeyLove being set up in the mid lane. He's going to continuously just farm it up, keep it nice and chill, and then maybe they can try and look for Rift Herald and that kind of stuff. But honestly, I think with the way that this game is going right now, with the fact you've got 2 item spikes, or 2 items here for Rookie and also Photic in those mythics very, very strong, you just don't want to try and contest right now as top esports.
I love that we're actually getting the movement holistically to the mid lane for the bottom lanes early into the laning phase there, but appreciate the fact that all the resources will now be diverted to JackeyLove and Photic respectively in the mid lane. So I want to see how these carries get along, but I think we'll have to wait to check in on that. And until then, we're really looking at the aggression we've seen consistently from both Tian and XLB.
Yeah, Rookie hiding off to the side here. You've got the movement coming through from Rich. They really want to dive this mid turret, knowing Sylas is top with no TP, and Wayward was in the bot lane.
Yeah, and we'll show his face over here. The at least positioning from Rookie. He might not be on a front line, front engage, right? But he's still able to play that bodyguard role with the potential of the shockwave as we see the top lane go down over to Knight. And Rift Herald actually started up by top esports.
Yeah, good movement from Wayward from bot to mid to cover the potential play from V5, so they will back away. Tian, though, is separated from the squad here. They're still waiting on Knight to come back at a base. He's just reset for the Everfrost, so now moving into position, but V5 still feeling confident again. Like, these small corridors are a nightmare for top esports' composition, with Xiaolong Bao and Rich's ultimate being so good. Same with Rookie. Even the tidal wave is going to pose a problem.
They're actually going to contest this. We have Rookie on his way down here, but he's not here yet. Knight is in the back of the pit, was trying to see if there's anybody over there. Gets the control ward over. This is a fight over Rift Herald, but the Rift Herald's facing a little bit the wrong way here. XLB goes in. I'm not sure who got it, but the Ornn back across 2 members here. TES, they're going in. Wayward flashing forward. big knockup for the tidal wave, and V5 actually find the first kill in the fight. Wayward is down, and now V5 are out of there with the pickups. It is the Rift Herald going over top Esports, but you'll take it.
I mean, getting that kill is going to be very crucial for V5, especially if things start to put some pressure down on the map. But top Esports, that Rift Herald in the short term could be used to try and crack open some of this mid lane structures, especially when you look at Dragon in 20 seconds that everyone's resetting for. But, right, looking for Rich.
Little close there. He was trying to get the quick combo, but I won't find it just yet. We'll get a replay of that last situation.
So this is something we see a lot with the Sylas into Ornn matchup. The Sylas sometimes just tends to be the better Ornn. Manages to get 3 members of V5 locked up there. And Photic is doing a lot of work towards Wayward, but it's about buying time here for top Esports. They get the Rift Herald, they get what they came for. Yeah. And now we'll have to see exactly where they want to try and use it. Ultimates are up quicker here for top Esports, which is why they're pushing that little bit further forward. Still no tidal wave, still no Ornn ultimate, and that's why top Esports are very much posting up in this river.
Knight is heading down from the top lane 1v1 against Rich, but yeah, the Dragon going over to V5. The Rift Herald used in mid lane though, and they'll bring a lot of presence here for top Esports. They'll TP actually bringing Rich down, so it's dissuaded, and top Esports just have to get that charge off and back away.
So top Esports not able to get as much as they would have liked. They were posturing in river thinking, hey, we actually have ultimates up faster. Maybe we can take a quick fight before V5 are all clumped up. Or even if we push them back, we deny them access to that mid tower. But V5 do a good job of kind of spreading themselves out in both directions. So pick up Dragon, control the mid lane as well. And now we kind of go back into a course of, okay, Rookie trying to push against Knight in the side lane. Shelong Bao trying to change that matchup in favor of Rookie though.
He really is. And just a side note, I don't know if anybody saw, but Tian got half his health bar chunked out by one little combo from Rookie. Meanwhile, mid lane, JackeyLove getting the health bar knocked out by Photic. Tried to go forward with that Gale Force, but it's the aggression you'll love to see from this bottom lane of V5.
Will still force the reset, and that might give mid tower to V5. You see Shelong Bao and Rookie immediately start to move towards this mid lane. Mark, the sole defender, will not be able to defend this for very long. I don't think Lulu is the most threatening underneath these towers, but V5 looking Wayward more than they wanted mid tower.
Yeah, they were a little worried about the flank. We actually saw some question mark pings and stuff coming up from V5 around there. Wayward did have a pretty big flank on the top side, but they actually don't pull the trigger on the mid lane. Photic will stay there. The rest of V5 move around, get some resets off, and top Esports, they're actually taking advantage of this, and Knight will move onto the tower and bottom lane.
V5 needed to get something out of that map movement, but the fact that they couldn't get mid tower or Wayward means that Knight is again just getting to free farm on bot side. He's evened up the CS discrepancy. He's starting to get some damage on this bot tower. Tian even here to try and help him secure that, but both junglers just matching mid laners right now. And I think this is the right call from Shelong Bao. Like, Knight can kill Rookie if he's able to close that gap right now, especially the fact that he has the Everfrost and will have access to the Orianna ult as well. So Shelong Bao needs to be here in case things go a bit sideways between the mid laners.
So we've seen, obviously it's a very neck and neck. The gold is very, very small, but I want to zoom in on V5 a little bit more here and look at next steps for them, right? They have 2 dragons to their name. They're trying to set up this composition, especially dealing with the side lane of Knight. Knight has been consistently a pain, a thorn in the side, if you will, of V5 right now in this one. So how do you kind of deal with that side lane pressure that Knight's been putting?
Well, that's the biggest problem here, is that you actually don't really have a way to deal with Knight. Like, Rich has to deal with Wayward, Rookie has to deal with Knight, and as long as top Esports are able to keep the tempo advantage, that's where they can try and push their advantages forward. So for V5, I think it's trying to play towards these dragons in 2 minutes time is your best bet. Just keep ping-ponging these waves. And if you ever are able to find a moment where, hey, look, top Esports, don't get to the dragon as quickly as possible, well, then these jungle corridors, great fights for V5, like we already discussed. Maybe you're able to actually look to trade instead of just for that second dragon. You might, or third dragon, you can trade for position on this Baron area.
Photic just really likes to hit JackeyLove with all those culling shots. It's just been on cooldown, it seems. XLB trying to catch out Knight on this tower transition, but it will be an outer tower going down to V5. So map control starting to work out for them.
And that's why you fling every single bullet from Photic into JackeyLove. because JackeyLove has to reset, and now you just have a numbers advantage on the map for V5, especially with Wayward sticking around in the top lane. Cool, there's 2 towers nice and quickly for V5, so really nice job from them just using the numbers advantage that they have on the map. And with a minute 20 until the dragon, that's a solid amount of gold that has just been put into their back pockets. With 2 items and now 2.5 completed for Photic. Rookie nearly towards his Archangel staff, not quite there, but should hit it before this next fight. Hopefully you will be in a position as V5 where you're firing on all cylinders. Orianna 2 items, that's where she really comes alive with those ultimate damage.
I'll have to see if they can actually get to that point, right? But it's been really interesting to watch the differences in how this mid lane has been played out so far in this game in particular, right? We're seeing Knight constantly in the sideline, actually staying away from the fights a lot of the time. But speaking of, we're going to need to see him get to this fight for top esports. They want to contest the dragon because V5 using the mid lane pressure here, using this minion wave, they're going to have free reign over the pit here.
And I love how aggressive Photic is playing, knowing that he has that free reign, right? Protection from Rich, Shelongbow's Cyclone, ppgod keep him in check, even Rookie with Shockwave. So he's just free firing before top esports can really get in a position to contest. You see it there, right? Resets coming through from top esports. They just don't feel like they can actually contest this right now. No real vision behind them apart from that one ward. So TP plays probably not going to be too big of a deal here, especially if V5 can try and close those ones out. Rich moving back to the top side to match this push from Wayward as well. Feels like Dragon just, immediately picked up by V5.
Not going to be much here, but I do want to go back to what I was saying earlier and kind of focus back in on the differences we're seeing from both Knight and Rookie, right? It's something that we didn't really touch on too much is the fun before this game is over. The fact that Rookie is 22-9 over Knight, and the fact that we have seen, like, even in Rookie's moments, like, he always just somehow finds an upper hand over Knight. But in this kind of situation, it feels like we have different trajectories for them, right? Like, Knight is playing that side lane very heavily, where Rookie is playing to his nature and trying to play for the team, trying to get these setups for Photic.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people kind of forget just how dominant IG were because we're looking at the new IG. Like, in 2021, IG was still finishing first in Spring Split. They were 5th in Summer Split. Like, they were still a very, very strong team who just had a little bit of a slump. So, not fully surprised to see Rookie hold.
Oh, Photic almost gets caught out by the Glacial Prison there. He did, but he has to cleanse. Now, the return from V5. Photic gets the kill onto Tian, and now afterwards, it's just an avalanche. V5 are moving forward. Knight is now here. He steals the Ornn horn. He immediately pulls the trigger on that one. JackeyLove is trying to go forward now, but Rich is taking up a storm. JackeyLove is knocked up, and there you go. Rookie ends his life. Knight with a big Everfrost. He gets out with the blast code, but V5 take that all day long.
V5 find the fight before Knight can even get there. And Rookie holding that shockwave for so long, knowing that he has to kill JackeyLove. And just like that, we were talking about V5 being on a slump. Well, they say not today. We're going for the Baron.
Again, everything else does not matter. This series matters. You can take everything you want about everything we've said for V5, the slump, all the tragedies that have happened for them, top esports on a 13 win streak. But when you get onto Summoner's Rift, none of that matters.
And they try to get Photic. Wayward looking for the pick. The cleanse comes through. The safety net that we talked about with this front line for V5 works wonderfully. And Photic playing so well with all the shields, the heals, and even as Knight comes in here, Rookie is still holding on to this shockwave for so long. This is why he's such a good Orianna. The decision making around when to use this, and the second JackeyLove is caught,
we ain't stopping. Glacial Prison out. The tidal wave as well. Rookie getting very, very low. He's buying so much time, and Rookie survives! Wayward dies too! It's tragedy for top esports. And Photic, he's going to find Mark. That's easy pickings. 3 down for top esports. Can they make it more? They've got Photic on the back, calling on to JackeyLove. They've got the calling themselves, but it ain't going to mean much here. Top esports, how did we get here? 10-1 V5 dominance.
Rookie always controls Knight, and Rookie will not fall to the top esports play. Baron is still there for V5. They will take the tier 2 in top. They will push into the tier 2 in mid, and just like that, a 6,000 gold lead for V5. 3 dragons to their name, and Fancy Feet Rookie always surprises us with just how clean he is on this Orianna. Like, watch how he's using the speed ups coming through from the command distance. Flashes away there, manages to just about get the speed up again. The shields coming through from ppgod as well, and the heals. It's nothing can be done. Rookie survives for so damn long, and top esports are running for the hills. They know they've messed up. They know it's too late, but it's already gone the way of V5.
It really, really has, and I love the step up right now in this moment from Photic as well as Rookie, right? The spacing from Rookie would, like, we have that, yes, but the damage needs to be there, and Photic is doing that, right? The LPL All-Pro first team in spring, he is performing in this season, even in the slump of V5. They get a full Call Ignite!
Oh my god!
That's not a solo bolo, but it's almost there. The thumbs up from Photic. And V5, they have just domineered top esports in this first game.
Yeah, what went from a locomotive has turned into a bullet train as Photic is chasing people down with all the speed ups the V5 are offering. And Mazel, we're 26 minutes into the game. V5 are looking to end.
You better get on the train right now because V5 is heading out to a win. It is 11-1, one Nexus tower down. Make that a second quickly off the back. Glacial Prison does come out, but Wayward has to run away immediately. The tidal wave is out. V5 have broken the base. They're about to break the mental of top esports in game number 1. They have the Nexus in front of them, but they want the kills. They want the KDA, and they want JackeyLove. That's going to be game number 1 to V5. Slump who?
Slumps are not to be found here. Perfect posture, perfect gameplay. Phenomenal across the board for V5, and it starts with the man on your screen, Rookie, looking incredible in the mid lane against Knight, controlling Knight from start to finish, and Photic as well on the Lucian. We talked about this man coming up from the LDL this split, facing against the team that turned around and put him on the bench for JackeyLove, and he shut him down the entire way through this game.
Man, I feel for the little brother of Knight, in Knight, for Rookie, because, man, Rookie just finds a way every single time to get the better of this legendary mid laner, and it wasn't just the mid lane matchup, the early laning phase. It was the fact that they just continuously found these big shockwaves, found these big setups, and snowballed to victory out of a game that we were talking about top east. They had control. Tian was everywhere. They were finding everything. XLB was wasting a lot of time in the jungle. But again, it doesn't matter. The golden left hand doesn't come alive here for top esports, and V5 find an incredible victory.
And that's the thing. We talked about how there was going to be a lot of ebbs and flows in this game, right? Where it's, even when you look at the mid lane matchup, Knight when he hits level 5, then being able to control a bit more of the matchup against Orianna, let's see what he can do. But when we get to 2 items here for V5, that's when they really do come alive. Photic with the Gale Force, the Rapid Fire Cannon is a monster with these cullings. Rookie as well, having access to the Archangel Staff alongside the Luden's Echo, is going to do a ton of damage in team fights, and V5 just played so well to those strengths. Like, they knew that, hey, look, we have a significantly stronger front line. We have 2 carries that are spiking incredibly hard right now. Let's just play to this spike, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, the damage says it all between the 2 carries, right? Photic nearly 8,000 gold ahead of JackeyLove. Knight, I mean, that damage is so tiny. Like, ppgod did more damage than Knight.
Yeah, and that's definitely not where you want to see Knight, as we lauded this mid lane matchup, and Rookie just had the holistic better hand in game number 1. And I think that is the difference for me. When you look at the game, you see 27 minutes, right? And that feels fast, especially in this day and age. But it was so chaotic in the end because we didn't get our first dragon until like 11 minutes into the game. There wasn't a big focus around the objectives besides the Rift Heralds. But then the difference between the top teams and the bottom teams of the LPL is knowing when you have a lead and just driving it home through your opponent no matter what. And I think V5 represented that so well in this first series, this first game of the series.
Especially when you look at how they played the map to try and drive that victory home, right? Like we talked about in the mid lane, or mid game, how they played around that mid lane first turret still being up. Like twice we saw them, cool, push bot, then we're going to en masse congregate around the mid lane turret. Now, Attempt 1 didn't work out because Wayward very nicely kind of teetered into position. But in the second attempt, they get the mid lane tower. Suddenly they're playing for dragons very easily. Baron's there whenever they want it. It all becomes very hard for top esports to try and deal with.
Indeed, it is. And we'll see if they can bounce back to bring us to a full 6 games tonight, because they are on the chopping block in this series. V5 came out with a very, very strong victory in game number 1. We'll be right back after this break.